What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today we're going to be taking a look at the last 10 games of our FUT Champs run. I think I accidentally put this game as well in yesterday's video, so you get to see this one twice, because why not? Thank you guys for being here. If you could drop a thumbs up, it would mean the world to me. Let's try and smash 4,000 likes for today. Lots to talk about. I'm going to start with the topic of Team of the Year being a community-driven event. Before we get into that though, thank you for being here. You know, the new year is met with just a lot of hope for me. I hope for a good year this year. You know, 2017 wasn't the most insane year for me. Obviously, I had a lot of personal problems towards the front end of the year, and then a lot of financial problems throughout the year. And now all of that's behind me. I've got a good year to look forward to. You know, my daughter's going to turn 3 in a couple of weeks. My son will be born in a couple of months, and I just hope for a good year for me, but more importantly, I hope for a good year for you guys. You know, if you guys can have the best year of your life, that would be worth more to me than absolutely anything. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for allowing me to live the dream. And best wishes for all of you in 2018. So the first comment was from Manuel Ramirez. He says, "Do you think the Team of the Year will be better if it's based on the FIFA community instead of FIFA Pro?" So bottom line is, I believe it was Fuji. I really need to get my hair cut, man. Shit, I was thinking about growing it out. I was thinking about like leaving the top like mad long. You know what I mean? Like so I could like drag it back and put maybe a ponytail like sway back long. You know what I mean? I was thinking about going sway back long. What do you guys reckon? Like a big like full man beard, a big like beard, and then like massive long hair. I was thinking about just changing it up a little bit. Anyway, I believe it was Fuji. I can't see the tweet. The tweet had been deleted, but there was a thread on Reddit about the fact that Fuji had released some information that Team of the Year will be community based. First thing to consider is whether or not that's entirely true, or if that is the whole story or not. You know, I think I saw a lot of threads on Reddit of people saying if the Team of the Year is community driven, I'm quitting FIFA forever, I'm going to PES and stuff, and I'm just sitting there thinking, man, like, you're getting emotional as hell over a tweet that isn't even verified. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Fuji doesn't know what the situation is, because he may well do. You know, he's a top quality content creator, he's got a lot of links. It's not difficult to find out information this year. You know, I've been fed a lot of information myself from different areas of EA, not from EA, but I'm getting information that shouldn't be out in the community quite early this year, which I never did before. So I'm not saying that Fuji is wrong, but like, I didn't see the tweet specifically, so I'm just interested as to how people are so quick to judge, to go from we expect the FIFA Pro Team of the Year to, oh my god, we're going to be seeing Anthony Martial and Bakayoko Team of the Year cards. What I gathered is that it seems like it's going to be a community-driven Team of the Year. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we just get to pick who's Team of the Year. That could be a whole host of different things. That could mean that prominent members from the community are the ones that pick the Team of the Year. So, for example, right now, when we see the community squad battles team, you know, they have like the featured squad. That's community-driven feature, that is. So what that means is that it's someone from our community, either FIFA, gaming or football, that goes and puts their team on there. We've seen Castro on there. We've seen Bayern Munich on there. We've seen Chelsea on there. We've seen a few like individual football players on there. We've seen people on there, and it wouldn't surprise me if I think the term that I read was community driven. It wouldn't surprise me if it was people that picked the Team of the Year. So maybe people like Castro and Spence, or someone like David Myler, who obviously is a professional footballer, is a very prominent member of our community. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if it was stuff like that picked the Team of the Year. And it also wouldn't surprise me if they were given a list of players to vote from. So EA would say, you know, here's 5 goalkeepers, 12 defenders, 12 midfielders and 7 attackers. Pick your Team of the Year out of these. And gave that to, say, 100 different members of our community, maybe a fan vote as well. Maybe on their website they host a fan vote with those same stipulations, but it's still based on people who were the best in the world. It's just not based on the FIFA Pro World 11. And the FIFA Pro World 11 as much as people are trying to be I see it on Reddit a lot, and I see it in tweets a lot. People are like, oh man, it has to be the FIFA Pro World 11. They're the best 11 in the world. How dare EA go anything different? Dudes, the FIFA Pro World 11 is a popularity contest, man. Like, it's literally voted for by the managers. I believe the managers only, maybe some, like, managers and captains, I think it is, that vote on the FIFA Pro World 11. Or maybe managers and players or some crap. And they just vote their favourite 3 players. And it becomes like the Eurovision Song Contest, where certain territories vote for each other. So, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo obviously gets voted for by all the Portuguese managers and all the Portuguese players. Regardless of what kind of season he's had, he probably gets voted by them, even if he just had a good season, not a great season. So the FIFA Pro is very much a popularity contest of the best in the world, and a community-driven EA Sports Team of the Year could also very well be a popularity contest in our world from the best in the world. As I say, like, I don't think it's going to be like, hey guys, go to our website and vote on who you think is Player of the Year. And like I say, I don't think the likes of, you know, Begovic and Bakayoko and Jesus and Anthony Martial, I don't think they're going to be in there. I don't think we're going to be seeing a 99 rated Anthony Martial pop out in a couple of weeks out of packs. What I think is that it is going to be just different, just a little bit different to the FIFA Pro World 11. Ultimately, it'll still be the same. You know, again, like my vision when I heard this is okay, so they're going to give people a list of names. The people are going to vote. The most voted are going to come in. There'll probably be a fan vote that will attribute to that somewhere down the line as well. Much like Player of the Month, you know, fan vote is there, and then 3 judges vote as well, and that's how the Player of the Month is decided. I assume that it'll be something similar to that for Team of the Year. But what this does is it opens up a world of possibilities for Team of the Year in FIFA. You know, I know, like, Team of the Year has been very stagnant and the same over the last few years. And it's so funny because every year, at least the last 2 years, people have complained it's just the same players in Team of the Year. We've seen some anomalies here or there. You know, we got a Paul Pogba a couple of years ago in Team of the Year. But generally speaking, it's always Modric, Kroos and Iniesta. It's always Ronaldo, Messi, and then another attacker. It's always Ramos, Piqué, Dani Alves, Marcelo, and then Manuel Neuer. And that 11 there are basically the 11 that it's been year on year, with the odd 1 or 2 swapped out here or there. And so it's boring. So I see people always say, oh, it's just, you know, La Liga Team of the Year again, same players again. How boring is this again? And now that there's information that says, hey, it might be different this year, people are like, oh my god, how dare EA change it? How dare they take away my La Liga, you know, first 11? And I just can't. It makes me laugh, man. It makes me laugh that people were so hung up on Team of the Year being the same and boring, and then there's opportunity for change potentially, because again, there's no verification that this tweet is true or the whole truth or the complete picture of what might happen. It might be a case where this year it's going to be a 23-man squad. You know, maybe they're going to give the Team of the Year is defined by the term team, and okay, 11 players go on a team to start with, but every team has more than 11 players in it. So it might be a team, like how Team of the Season, for example, has the best 23 from every league. Team of the Year might be the best 23 in the world this year. It might also open up the possibility for a Team of the Year SBC. So there could be like one specific player, the fan voted Team of the Year player, that's an SBC to earn. You know, it opens up a whole bunch more possibilities by it being community driven and community based than saying, here's the World 11, here's their cards again. Iniesta and Kroos you're never going to see. Modric you'll see a whole bunch. Neymar, Messi and Ronaldo will be in every top 100 Elite 1 players team. You'll probably never see Bonucci or Buffon. You might see Dani Alves, but he's hard to link, and you're just going to see a crap ton of Marcelos and Sergio Ramoses. How boring is that going to be? With this, lots of opportunity, and I'm excited for it. And I hope you guys can get excited for it as well. It's due imminently. It could be as early as the fact that it's community driven now, or that it could potentially be community driven now, could allude to the fact that it might be earlier than normal, because usually it's based on the ceremony. But of course the ceremony happened late last year, So it could be this week or next week or within 10 or 12 days. You know, it's not necessarily now going to be the middle of January because it's different. Again, it's different. So I'm super happy about the fact that it could potentially be different. I like normally I get information about certain things and how they happen. Like I said, this year more than ever, I'm just getting leaks thrown at me left, right, and center. People are tripping over themselves to give me leaks early. Like I knew about the end of an era Perlo. I've known about certain prime icons when they're coming. I've known about team of the weeks early from time to time. Like I get a lot of information. However, on this instance, I actually don't have any information, so I can't even like verify yes or no for things being right or wrong. But so for me, I'm just as excited as you guys. I'm pumped to hopefully have something new for Team of the Year this year, and that does excite me. That excites me a lot. Ben says, how is 86 Son so cheap? He's literally on par with Ronaldo. I don't think this year's Son is on par with Ronaldo, especially not now. Last year, Son got a lot of upgrades quite quickly. He got his second player of the month relatively early. I know he got his first player of the month mad early. And because low-driven shots were more broken than they are this year because the keepers didn't have the saves with feet trait, that 5-star weak foot, that high pace and that good stamina was just an incredible addition to a card that was already quite meta. You know, nice and tall, 4-star skill moves, so on and so forth. This year, I don't think Son quite fits the molds with Ronaldo yet. I think another upgrade or two might put him there. You know, remember that, did he have 3 player of the months last year? Or was it his second player of the month? Whatever the 89 Son was last year, and I might be wrong saying he had 2 player of the months early. It might have been 1 player of the month and 1 special card early. But yeah, whatever he had last year as the 89 rated card, that card was stupid good. And it actually had better stats than Cristiano Ronaldo. His cards now, they don't have better stats than Cristiano Ronaldo. And there's a reason you don't see Heung-min Son week in, week out this year. In fact, there could be 2 reasons why you don't see him. Number 1 might be the fact that it's so easy to make coins now that everyone's got Ronaldo instead. But number 2 might be the fact that he's just not as good as he was last year based on how gameplay works this year. You know, so yeah, if you think he's cheap, go and buy him and enjoy him and love him. Rashid El Ghazar says, NepentheZ, do you think that EA could implement a system in the draft where after you win a match, you have the option to take your opponent's team or remain with your team? You could add something new and fresh. Also, for the reward system in draft, do you think that only when you win the draft, you have a wheel system with the players you choose in draft, and you have 1 spin, you could get the silver, or you could choose to get Ronaldo? It would just add something new. Keep up the great content, and thank you for reading this comment. Yeah, I appreciate the kind words, dude. In terms of your first point, in terms of both of your points, do I think that EA could implement it? Yes. Do I think they will implement it? No. And it's not necessarily because they're bad ideas, because I think there's some good qualities behind the ideas that you've had there. I literally think it's because of the fact that why would they? Why would they spend time and resources on a game mode where they don't need to? And I think, you know, we've spoken about it before. I think this is the biggest problem we have with FIFA right now. FIFA is a for-profit business. They want to make money. Their ultimate goal as a company, as EA and EA Sports, as a company, their ultimate goal is to make their shareholders and their investors happy and to make money for the company. And if one of the devs of FIFA Ultimate Team approaches his boss and says, hey, it's a great idea where after everyone wins a draft, you take the 23-man team, you spin a wheel and it lands on one of those 23-man team and they get that player untradeable, the boss is going to say, how much is this going to cost in terms of time and money, and how much is it going to generate back in terms of money? And the answer is it's going to cost money, and it's not going to make more money. That's for damn sure. So it will just never happen because of that. Because sadly, it's not a whole truth that it's only about money, but it is a major point that this game is driven by revenue and revenue earned. And that's why we're in a sort of state that we're in right now, where I don't think the audience is getting what they want. I don't even know if the people that make the game are creating a game that they're super happy with. Of course, they're not unhappy with it, but you know the difference between being unhappy and being completely happy. I don't think EA are going to change anything until we stop playing this game, and we're not going to stop playing this game because there's just no better alternative. You know, PES just doesn't scratch up. It just doesn't. So we're just in this vicious cycle right now of EA doing the bare minimum because that's all they need to do, and us bitching and moaning about the game and the state that it's in certain aspects, but nothing changing because we're still playing it. So it's just a really, really vicious circle of shit, essentially. In terms of the draft, though, man, I've got so many comments to get through, and I just haven't even got through any of them again. In terms of the comments, in terms of the draft again, though, it's an interesting concept, the draft versus FUT Champions this year, man. I think it was it even another comment? Yeah, so Rashid, I think your ideas are okay. I don't think they'll be implemented. I don't think EA are going to start giving out more players for free, especially like the draft, man. Could you imagine like a back end of the year where it's just constant team of the years in drafts? Everyone, as soon as you win a draft, everyone's just going to keep getting free team of the seasons. EA don't want that. I don't think that would be good for the game generally. In terms of taking your opponent's team as well, I think that goes against the principles of building your draft. So although there is some good ideas behind your, there's some like good context behind your ideas, I don't think the ideas themselves will be efficient in game. But there was another comment about draft from Rahan. Says, "Hi Nep, how hard is FUT Champs compared to draft? I know it's weak comparison because weekend league is 40 games and draft is 4, but it's harder to finish with 25 wins or win the draft." I personally believe it's harder to finish with 25 wins in FUT Champs than it is to win the draft. I actually find the draft generally quite easy. And if you're a good player, and I don't mean a great player, I don't mean an elite tier player, if you're a gold tier player, you will win a lot of games in draft until you just get unlucky in matchmaking. If you just sadly match, or if you unfortunately match up against someone who's like a gold 1, elite 3 or better style player, you might struggle in that game. But other than that, there is a lot of people that play draft. It's a far, far more open game mode, and of course you don't have to qualify to be in it. Sometimes I've won drafts in like 20 minutes of real life time, get loads of early rage quits. Sometimes I get to the final and I'll be like 6 or 7-0 up and I'll be like, how the hell has this guy made it this far? And of course, sometimes it doesn't go your way. Sometimes you just don't get the players in the draft that work. You don't get a good formation. You don't get good team chemistry. You just don't get meta players that benefit you. And you might come up against someone who's a similar sort of player to you, but they just have a much better formation and a much better team. And then you're going to lose a game like that, because if you're playing against someone of equal skill level in that scenario, you're most likely going to come out with your opponent being on top. In terms of the draft, though, this comment, Rahan, really sparked a bit of interest for me, because I'm thinking now about doing a series called, or just doing a series based on draft and FUT Champs. And what that means is perhaps during Monday to Thursday, playing 40 games of draft, taking all of the money that it will cost to enter, which will be a minimum of 150,000 coins to enter, because it will be a minimum of 10 drafts to play 40 games of draft. That's if I get to the final every time. Of course, if I don't get to the final every time, we could be looking at upwards of 200,000 coins of entry fee. Seeing what packs we get back at the end, and opening them all, and seeing how much money we make off the back of 40 games of draft during a week. And if that kind of, and yeah, I know pack luck's like a big amount, but if that kind of revenue return is similar to, say, a gold 1 or an elite 3 level of coins that you would make, it might be worth saying, because I think Bateson did something similar. He started playing draft a lot, and it's just interesting to me that, you can win 4 games in the draft. And of course, winning 4 games in the draft is not easy. It's not as difficult, in my opinion, as getting Elite 3 and FUT Champs, but it's not easy. But you can win 4 games in the draft, and you can be awarded with a 100k pack, a 35k pack, 45k coins. You could be rewarded with the sort of packs that you get for finishing on 20, 25 wins, 30 wins in FUT Champs. The only thing you don't get is the guaranteed inform packs. So it might be more beneficial to play draft instead of playing FUT Champs. The only time FUT Champs is more worth it than draft is, well, there's 2 things. First of all, it doesn't cost you to enter. You just have to win a tournament or get 18 wins. And secondly, you can get the inform packs and so on, basically the inform packs. But in draft, yeah, it costs you 15,000 coins to enter, but you get at least 15,000 coins worth of packs back. If you make it to the final, you're going to get relatively decent packs. Like, I think it might be worth starting to. I'm gonna try and piece together a fun series that is based around draft, comparable to based around draft comparable to FUT Champs over a 40-game period. And then the last thing that you get in FUT Champs that you don't get in draft is the red cards. You know, those red untradeable cards at the end of every month, the monthly rewards. It's nice. Now, I lost this game here, guys. This game actually cost me Elite 1 monthly. Well, this game specifically didn't cost me Elite 1 monthly. The fact that I didn't play 22 games this month cost me Elite 1 monthly. The fact that I lost too many games through the month cost me Elite 1 monthly. The fact that I lost several games that I completely dominated cost me Elite 1 monthly. But this was the one that stopped me from being able to get there. It was a game I absolutely dominated. My opponent had just some counterattacks. It was just like, I know he had 12 shots and 11 on target. They were all, like, literally all counterattacks. All his chances came from counterattacks, and it was really, really a problem. You can see that my passing is better. I had 21 shots on target and 26 shots in general from inside the box, and I just couldn't score the goals that I needed, man, to win the game. So that stopped me from being able to get to 31 wins. I then went and lost the next game, I believe, and I needed to win my last game to get 29 wins, to get Elite 3 monthly. So whether or not we win that, you're about to find out. I had so many more comments, dudes. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to read them. I'm going to save them, though, for the next video, because they are very, very good comments. Bookmark open pages. They're just very good comments that I want to read. This final game, guys, for Elite 3 started off really well. As you can see, I scored after 8 minutes. Goretzka putting in the goal, and I was like, nice, you know, last game, get Elite 3. It's going to be a good team of the week because it's going to be heavily Premier League based, which is nice. I then went and got a second yellow card on Antonio Valencia, and ultimately a red card after 14 minutes. And I was like, damn, I'm going to bottle it on the last game to get, I'm going to have bottled Elite 1 monthly, and I'm going to have bottled Elite 3 weekly after being 17-3. I only needed to win 12 of my last 20 games to get Elite 3 weekly. And here I am on game 20, 11 wins and 8 losses. And I need that 12th win to get Elite 3. Well, I managed to get a second goal after 24 minutes, again with Goretzka. Henry there lays it into Goretzka. Goretzka with that left foot banger, pops it in the bottom right corner and makes it 2-0, which was nice for me, gave me a little bit of cushion. And then we eventually made it 3-0 as well. Cristiano Ronaldo here getting around. You can see his Boateng's got a yellow card as well. Ronaldo doing a nice little bit of dribbling work down the right-hand side. Waited for a bit of space. And Herrera, nice backwards pass into Saul. Some good movement overall. Herrera again lays it into Henry. Henry finds Goretzka, and Goretzka taps that in the back of the net for a hat-trick after 40 minutes. Now, even though I'm a man down here, I'm generally dominating. And then into the 75th minute, great tackle there from David Alaba. He chips it up. This guy's all out attack now. I shield the ball with Ronaldo. He slides me with Boateng. That's a second yellow for Boateng, and instead of the game continuing on and me doing anything else, this guy ended up rage quitting. 3-0 down after the team got kind of like leveled up. So I was going to look at the account, dudes, but we'll look at that for tomorrow's video. This is going to be the end of the video for today. We did end up making it to Elite 3 weekly, which is awesome. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.